Hi Harry, hi Livy. So, can you remember where we got to yesterday? I think I can. So, Moonface and Goldilocks and the three bears had found their way back to their house and they could see a light on and they didn't know who was in there, and that's when we left them yesterday. So, we'll find out. We, of course, know, don't we? Who's in there? All right. There doesn't seem to be anyone here, said Bessie, cautiously looking round. Well, who lit the candle? Asked Moonface, his big round face looking anxious. We didn't leave it lit. Suddenly the father bear gave an angry growl and pointed to his chair. Who's been sitting in my chair? He said. And who's been sitting in my chair? Said Mother. And who's been sitting in my chair and broken it all to bits? Squeaked Baby Bear in tears. Bessie giggled. This sounds like the story of the three bears coming true, she said to Fanny. They'll talk about porridge next. And they did. Who's been eating my porridge? Said the father bear angrily. And who's been eating my porridge? Said Mother Bear. And who's been eating mine and gobbled it all up? Wept the baby bear. It's all very mysterious, said Moonface. Somebody lit the candle, somebody sat in the chair, somebody ate the porridge, but who? Not me this time, said Goldilocks. I was with all of you snowballing. You certainly were, growled the father bear, patting the little girl on the back. I wish we'd found poor Joe, though, said Bessie. Whatever will he be doing in this horrid cold land? Do you suppose we ought to go and look for him again? Said Fanny, shivering at the thought of going out in the ice and cold. No, said Moonface decidedly. No one is going out of this cottage again till we're safely in the wood at home. I'm afraid we can't possibly rescue Joe now. What's that noise? Said Goldilocks suddenly. Everyone listened. Someone was snoring softly in the next room. Not like Gigi Loud. We never thought of looking there, said Moonface. Who can it be? Shh, said Goldilocks. If we catch him asleep, we can tie him up and make him a prisoner easily. But if he wakes up, he might be fierce. They tiptoed They tiptoed to the door of the bedroom. One by one they squeezed through. Who's been lying on my bed? Said the father bear in a growly voice. Shh, Moonface said softly. Who's been lying on my bed? Said the mother bear. Shh, said everyone. And who's been lying on my bed and is fast asleep? Said the baby bear. Everyone stared into the cot. Yes, there was someone there. Someone in a white bear skin. Was it a polar bear? It's a white bear, said Moonface, half frightened. Tie him up before he wakes, said the father bear. He's an enemy now. Goldilocks got a rope out of the kitchen cupboard. Moonface went one side of the cot and the father bear went the other. The rope held between them. They nodded to one another. In a trice, both bent down, caught hold of the sleeper and twisted the rope tightly round him. He's caught, cried Moonface joyfully. Joe awoke with a jump. Who had got him? Had the magic snowman caught him again? He began to shout and struggle. Moonface tied him more tightly. And then Bessie and Fanny saw his face and yelled out loudly, Moonface, it's Joe, it's Joe, oh, it's Joe. They rushed to the cot and flung their arms round Joe. The boy was too astonished to speak. He got out of the rope and hugged his sisters. How did you get here? He asked. How did you get here? Cried Bessie and Fanny. Come into the kitchen and we'll all have some hot porridge and milk, said Goldilocks. We can talk then and get warm. So Joe, with the others, all chattering loudly about everything, went into the kitchen. Goldilocks ladled out porridge into blue bowls and made some cocoa. Soon everyone was putting treacle or sugar on their porridge and drinking cocoa. Joe poured some milk over his porridge and smiled joyfully at everybody. Shall I tell my tale first, or will you tell yours? He told his, and then Bessie told how Moonface had gone to the three bears for their help, and all about the fierce battle. It's a pity about the battle, said the father bear mournfully, The white bears are cousins of ours and have always been so friendly. Now they seem to be enemies." "Let's hope they don't discover our cottage," said Goldilocks, heating her hot porridge. "Moonface, hadn't we better make some magic and get back to the wood?" Plenty of time," said Moonface, pouring himself another cup of cocoa. But you know there wasn't plenty of time, for just at that moment Goldilocks gave a scream and pointed to the window. Someone looked in," she said. "Don't be silly," said Moonface. "I'm not," said Goldilocks. "I tell you, somebody looked in." "Who could it be?" "The handle of the door is moving," yelled Moonface, and he leapt to the door. In a trice he'd locked and bolted it. The father got up and went to the window, and he looked out into the snowstorm. "I can't see anything," he said, and then he growled loudly. "Yes, I can. I can see the white bears. They've surrounded our cottage. Now what shall we do?" "Well, they can't get in at the door, and they certainly shan't get in at the window," said Moonface, looking fierce. The door shook, but it held well. "We can't let them in," yelled Joe. "If anyone tries to open the window or break it, I'll hit him with this kettle," shouted Moonface, who had caught up the kettle and was dancing about with it. "Moonface, that kettle has got hot water in it," said Fanny. "Do be careful. You dropped some on me already." "I'll pour it down the neck of any bear that dares to come in here," yelled Moonface, spattering the room with steamy drops. "Oh dear," said Bessie. "Hide behind the bed, Fanny. It seems to me that Moonface is almost as dangerous as the bears." The father bear dragged the big table across the door. Things were getting exciting. Joe and the girls were frightened, but they couldn't help feeling terribly excited too. Whatever was going to happen next? "Oomph, oomph," boomed the big bears outside. But they couldn't get in at the door or the window. But they found another way. The chimney was wide and big, for the fireplace was one of those old-fashioned kind and needed a wide chimney. One of the bears climbed up on the roof, followed by 3 more. The first one slipped into the big chimney. Down he went. Whoosh! Down went another, and a third, and a fourth. They landed with a crash on the big fire hearth and hurriedly jumped away from the flames of the fire. "Surrender!" they cried to the startled children and bears. "Surrender! The magic snowman is outside. Let him in!" That's the end of the chapter. I wonder what's going to happen in the next chapter. Are the children going to get out? Is Moonface going to find his magic? Well, you're going to have to wait till tomorrow to find out. So, that's it from Grandma for today. Lots of love. Speak soon. Bye.